So today you're going to be making a planes of the body model. And what you will need for this is a toilet paper roll, some scissors, permanent marker, writing utensil, pen, pencil, whatever you've got, and one sheet of paper. Now typically when I make my planes of the body model, I use index cards and I buy the bright neon kind because those seem to stand out the best and it makes your models look a lot more fun, but we'll just work with whatever we got. So this is a toilet paper roll. And the first thing you got to do is you got to change the cylinder into a rectangular prism. So what we're going to do is we're going to squish it like so and fold it down. Okay, so that's one fold. And we got to make two folds all together. Now, while you're doing this, you're going to look and check and see if you have like any pieces of toilet paper left. And if you do, just kind of scratch them off. Okay, so now we've done that. And next, we're going to push down, okay, and we're going to make a second fold. And I'm sure you've done this before when you were like a little kid, okay? So, we've got our two folds that turn our cylinder into rectangular prism thing. Alright. So it should have four sides now. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4. And so if you don't have it really smooth, really mash it down. Okay, that helps. Now, typically I make these little printouts and you can cut and paste the little bodies on here. But I don't know if you guys have access to a printer. If you do, I've put an attachment onto today's lesson. It's called The Four-Sided Man, and you would just click that and print it. And then do me a favor, don't cut out the body. So like if the body's all drawn out, don't like go in and like cut out the head all careful like this because it's not going to work. When you cut the body out, you literally just need to like cut it in a square like this. And then once you do that, you'll glue it onto your model like so. Okay, so I'm not going to do that because my printer is being ridiculous today. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this if you do not have a printer. And this is where the drawing comes in. So I'm going to choose this to be the front of my person. And I'm going to draw, and you cannot draw a stick figure. You actually have to draw like a head, shoulders, neck. So I'm going to draw a head. Now, of course, I'm not judging you by your drawing. This is not art class. This is healthcare science. So you just do the best you can, baby. Okay? And the best I can is not that good. But you'll know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, you'll know that those are legs, and you'll know that those are arms, and you'll know, ooh, that's a bad foot. That's okay. And then you're going to want to draw this person in anatomical position. What you should have learned is when your palms are out and your thumb is facing away from you. So palms facing the front with your thumb away from you. And then I'm going to know that this is the front because I'm going to draw a little smiley face on it. And I'm going to draw front-facing pockets and a collar because that looks kind of weird. And some cuffs. There we go. Okay, so here's my little person. Not the greatest drawing, but again, not art class, healthcare science class. Now, you're going to want to draw on the complete opposite side of this guy. Okay, because this is your anterior, this is your front. Now you're going to draw you a posterior. Please do me a favor and do not draw the posterior right next to him. Okay, that would be your side, your lateral view. Okay, I don't need your lateral view being your posterior view. Okay, so what you gonna do, you're gonna flip that bad boy around, and now we're gonna draw a posterior person, okay? So I'm gonna draw the head, and a little neck, and shoulders, and again, I'm telling y'all right now, my drawing is not good, and that's okay. It's all about the experience, and just having fun with it, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to draw down here. The feet are better on the back side. That's all right. And then leggies. Got your little leggies. And then I'm going to do this. And then to show that it's the back, I'm drawing back pockets. See what I'm saying? Everybody knows the difference between back pockets and front pockets. And again, thumbs facing away from your body, and this should be the back of your hand. Thumbs out, fingers back of your hand, collar, wrists, boom, back of the body. So right now I should have a front-facing guy and a back-facing guy. Next up, the two lateral views. Please make sure that the nose is pointed towards the front guy and the butt is pointed towards the back guy. So that way, it's like a four-sided man. So you have your front, your lateral view, and then your posterior view. But obviously I'm not going to stand up because I'm in a good situation right here. So we've done our anterior, our posterior. Now we're going to do our two lateral views. So I'm going to draw my side-facing man, put a nose on this guy. Might even get creative and draw an ear because we know that the ear is on the lateral side. Then he doesn't have a whole lot going on. I am going to draw him just a little bit of a butt so I can remember which side is the back. Ugh. He's got like real thick legs now. And a weird donk. That's okay. Again, not the greatest drawing, but we'll know what I mean. Okay, and now we're going to draw the other side facing man. Now if you look, the nose is pointed towards the front facing man, and the butt is pointed towards the posterior facing man. And again, not an artist. It's okay. Alrighty, so side facing man, we're going to draw a nose again, and a mouth. And my side facing men aren't really matching right now, and again, it's fine. But foot. This guy is looking better than the other guy. Back pocket, arm, hand, happy face, ear. Back facing guy. See, his leg looks better than the other guy. But anyway, okay, so now I've got my man. He's good to go. The next thing I need to make are the planes that are going to cut the guy up. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut the piece of paper, and it's going to be like a 3 to 4 inch wide strip, okay? Then you're going to fold it about 4 times to give it a good amount of thickness, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to write the name of the plane. So you're going to write on this part, then you're going to flip it over, and again on this part and this part. And I'm going to write mid-sagittal. So you're going to end up writing mid-sagittal 4 times, okay? So if you're like, okay, mid-sagittal, it should be written on there 4 times. Now somebody's going to ask me, Coach, how did you write all that without taking the cap off of your pen, and how'd you do it so fast? Trick. This is my second video. Okay, then you're going to repeat that same step. You're going to cut another 3 to 4 inch strip of paper, and I'm cutting it hamburger style, not hot dog style. Fold it 4 times. 1, 2. Well, technically you fold it 3 times, but what I mean by 4 is that when you open it up, you should have 4 little squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you just fold it in half, and then you fold it again. Then you're going to write frontal 4 times. So frontal, 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 until you get one that looks like this. Okay? Then you're going to do the very last one. And if you're like, well, I don't mind it being the size, I kind of want mine to all be the same size. Sorry. That's just how I do. And again, you fold it once in half, and you fold it twice in half. And now we're going to write transverse 4 times. So transverse, 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 and I've got my transverse plane. So now I have my 3 planes, my transverse, my frontal, and my mid-sagittal, which is also known as just a sagittal plane, but we're going to call it mid-sagittal. Next up, we're going to actually cut the body, because these planes cut you 3 different ways, and so we're going to actually make 3 different cuts. Now, the first cut, okay, and the first video I made, I didn't show this very well because I was making the cut off camera, so that's why I'm having to make a second video. So, the first cut, and I'm going to stand up because I'm not very good at seeing this. I'm going to cut him from about the top of his head to just above the belly button, okay? And then on the back side, I'm going to cut him from the top of his head to about where like his middle back would be. Do you see that? So that's the first cut. Now, this cuts the person into equal right and left halves. So what plane would that be? Like Dora the Explorer here. That would be your mid-sagittal plane. So now I get my mid-sagittal plane, and I'm going to stick that right into my model. And so now you can see he is cut into equal left and right halves. Now this is why you need to fold the paper, because if not, when you're trying to stick just one thin sheet of paper, it's not gonna stay where it needs to. So the next one we're going to get is going to cut the person into equal front and back halves. What plane is that? I think I heard it in the back. Yes, that's correct. Frontal. Thank you very much for raising your hand. I appreciate you. Quarantine is driving me insane. Anyway, so next up, we're going to make a cut. And again, I'm going to stand up because I can't really get the angle I need when I'm sitting down. You're going to start at the bottom, and you're not going to cut all the way up. You're just going to kind of cut his leg, okay? So don't go past his butt. That's a good landmark. And then you're going to turn to the other side, and you're going to do it again. Don't go past his butt. Boom. Okay? Now, again, we just said that is the what plane? The frontal. Was that Magic Coach? Maybe. It might have been. Okay. So now we're going to put that in our model. So now we have our frontal plane and our mid-sagittal plane. Woo! Now the one we're missing, we learned about 3. What's that last one that cuts you into top and bottom halves? Yes, you. That's correct. Transverse. So the transverse plane, this is probably the most difficult cut I'm going to teach you. This is where your whole model will fall apart. And this is why I had 2 toilet paper rolls in the beginning, because I messed up and I made my transverse plane too close to my other cuts. And so now I have this flappy mess. So let's try it again, shall we? Now, we left ourselves plenty of room because we stopped before the butt and we stopped before the belly button. So what you're going to do is you're going to kind of fold it sideways so it's flat. So this is not 3D anymore. It's just regular old flat. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a cut kind of between the 2 cuts you've already made on the front side of the man. Okay, so I made my first cut. Then I'm going to fold it back over. Okay, and I know this looks complex. I promise you it's not. And we're going to make a cut on that side as well. Okay, so we're going to make a cut and be very careful with it, because if you connect the cuts, the front will open up. So the next thing you're going to do is get your scissors into the cut that you just made, and you're going to connect the cut. Okay, so now you should have a cut that cuts him into top and bottom portions, which we said that was our quit, our transverse plane. And getting this plane into the body is the most difficult, but there we go. So now I've got my 3 planes. I've got my mid-sagittal plane, which cuts him into right and left halves. I've got my transverse plane, which cuts him from top to bottom, and I've got my frontal plane, which cuts him front to back, which these planes would go all the way through the person. And the reason why I don't cut my model that way is because if I did, I wouldn't have a model. I would just have a dissected man. Okay, so that is how you make a planes of the body model. And again, it looks really cool if you can get neon index cards instead of folding up pieces of paper. But again, we're just working with what we can. So hopefully you guys can make yourselves a planes of the body model, and I'm not judging you on your drawing. I just want to see it's done. All right. Miss y'all. Have a great day.